they say it's the dream, but the silence feels louder than it seems. Applications set like ships in the dark. No replies, no spark, no start. You think it's a paper, just words on a page, but it's a system to break out the cage. Get higher fast, it's more than your past. You're the go-to pro, let the world know. Get higher fast, leave the doubt in the past. Worried they're looking at the years you wear, like time erased what you bring to the chair. But it's not about age, it's the way you play. Pushing yourself, lead the way, the way. Connect to the ones who make the calls, shake the fear, break the walls. Get higher fast, it's more than your past. You're the go-to pro, let the world know. Get higher fast, leave the doubt in the past. Worried they're looking at the years you wear, like time erased what you bring to the chair. But it's not about age, it's the way you play. Pushing yourself, lead the way, the way. Connect to the ones who make the calls, shake the fear, break the walls. Get higher fast, it's more than your past. You're the go-to pro, let the world know. Get higher fast, leave the doubt in the past. Get higher fast, it's more than your past. You're the go-to pro, let the world know. Get higher fast.
You scroll through hundreds of job descriptions, but they all sound the same. You spend so much time on every application, but it doesn't seem to matter. You send off application after application, but never hear back. You thought the interview went so well, but it's a no. You jump through all the hoops. The news keeps saying how there are all these employers that are struggling to find people to hire. So why does finding a great job have to be so hard? It doesn't seem very logical or fair. It's not. The system is broken. It's not your fault. The process most people go through to get a job is awful. But here's the good news. The system isn't very smart. In fact, it's downright dumb. It can be beaten. How? Most prospective employers and employees today are using the same old tired strategies that have been around forever. It's like professional camouflage. Everybody just blends into the crowd. But you don't have to be that way anymore. You can get traction. You can stand out from the crowd to unleash your God-given potential, to help a world in need, to do work that matters, to earn what you and your family deserve. You can do this. You're meant to do this. There are bright things on the horizon for you. This is the way. Welcome to the workshop. Get hired fast without settling, getting ignored, or losing hope. My name is Eric Woodard. I'm a high-performance career and leadership coach based out of Washington, D.C. And if you're here on this Tuesday, on this Veterans Day, just want to acknowledge you for being here. Know how valuable your time is. You could be doing a lot of other things, and you're here talking about your career. So just, the fact that you're even just here just speaks volumes. And I see so many of you are here. I want to make sure, poor Bob. Hey, Bob, hopefully you didn't lose our sound. I see you there, Deb. Thanks for chiming in. If you could, guys, put in the chat where you're from and how long you've been on the job search, because I want to know, right? I want to know where everybody's from. We've got a great big crowd here today. We've even got a bunch of our team here on the call with us. This is going to be a good call, right? We're going to get hired fast today because my friends, hey, Teresa in Arkansas, you just started. I see you. Sometimes Pat in Chicago and Craig in Columbus and Sarav in Massachusetts and Deborah in the Windy City and Cody in Minneapolis. Sometimes being on a job hunt can feel like pounding sand, Karen in the Garden State. Sometimes Daniel in San Diego, it can feel like waiting on a glacier. Shaney in Utah, I'm probably mispronouncing your name. Hi there, Juan in Gainesville, right? And David in Vegas. Sometimes it can feel like wandering through the desert. Hey there, Eric Tarmy right here in Alexandria. April in Maryland. Susan in Minnesota. Tony in San Diego, 20 months. I hear you there. Hey, Sarathi in Austin. Nice to see you. Hope Austin's still weird. Hi, Chittagong in the Garden State. And hello, Cecilia in Washington State. Sometimes it can feel like going into an arena, Grant in Michigan, Todd in Lower Michigan. Sometimes it can feel like looking into an abyss, Brandon in Utah and O'Day in Chicago. A couple of months for you. So Funke in Rhode Island. Who is this for? Hey there, Brandon in Atlanta. If you are unsure about the direction you want your career to go, if you are struggling to find ways to describe what you do, Dominique in Chicago. Hey there, Sunday in New Jersey, about a month for you. If you're uncertain if your resume is any good, if you've been wrestling with how to follow up after you apply, if you're tired of applying and just hearing nothing back, I mean, that's a downer, right? Like, that's no fun at all. If you're doing interviews that seem to be going great and you still get a no, hey there, is it Shaney? Lifelong process trying to find a worthy career. I hear you there. Hey there, Charles in South Dakota. Nice to see you, right? If you're trapped in a job that you don't like and you're just not sure how to escape, my friends, this webinar is for you. On the other hand, if you are somebody who's just sort of casual about your career, you're just here to kind of kick tires, not willing to do the work. Hey there, Ed Along in Maryland. Nice to see you, man. If you're reluctant to take responsibility for the results you've been getting, if you're just interested in finding a job to make money, right? I see you there. Finding a job in Hawaii, Nagar. I see you. If you're stuck in your ways and sort of closed-minded about trying new things, if you're unwilling to be authentic, this may not be the workshop for you. So what you're going to learn today, how to get hired fast without settling, getting ignored, or losing hope. I'm going to offer you 4 strategies, 9 tactics that you can put to work right away to get hired fast so that you can do work that matters and pays what you and your family deserve. 100%. Our agenda for today, I'm just going to tell real briefly about where I'm coming from, who I am, how I help people. And you know what, Lucy, I so appreciate your question, guys. We're going to have lots of questions today. So we've got Jelly and Jessa helping us today. So golf clap for Jelly and Jessa. They're going to mark our questions and we're going to have time at the end for questions today. I promise. Yeah. Thanks for that one, Lucy. Appreciate that. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about where I'm coming from. Again, 4 strategies, 9 tactics. I've got an invitation for you folks. You know, some of you like are just coming to this workshop because you've had friends or family that you know our program has helped. You already know you're really interested in working with us. If that's you, I want to invite you to a call. The only requirements for the call are you're going to show up, right? You're not going to like schedule a call and cancel. Like, don't do that. Our team's not that big. You're ready to get started and you're at least interested in investing some real American dollars in yourself. You want an employer to do the same, like be the change you seek, right? And again, if you're just here and you just want to have great information about job seeking, that's 100% okay. We're going to talk more about the call later. And if you want to book a call, it's right there. That's the link to do it. But we're going to talk more about that. Hey there, Sophia in Jersey City and Carl in Jefferson County, West Virginia. Very cool. Nice to see you. And that's the link to book the call. I see you there, Carl Harwood, 2 years for you. All right. Yeah, that's the link. So that's our agenda for today. So let's get rocking and rolling. And we're going to have time for Q&A because I don't have anything after this. And last time, just to warn you, last week I did this, like my internet cut out. And it has never happened before. So if that happens this time, like we're going to play some nice elevator music and just, I'll be back. That sounds like the Terminator. Anyhow, it's not going to happen this time, but you never know. This could be, I'm a trained professional here, folks. You just never know. All right, guys. So who is this guy and why does he think he can help me find a job? So I'm kind of a weirdo, right? I grew up overseas, grew up in Asia, didn't come to the States till I was ready to go to college, right? Wound up transferring college 7 times. That was fun. By the time that was all said and done, I wound up as a a scuba instructor on the island of Guam. Now, I don't know how many of you have been to the island of Guam. It's beautiful. I spent about 10,000 hours underwater with the fish. It was awesome. And my brain was getting a little bit spongy. And I thought, I got to figure out this career thing. So I thought, what would be the most prestigious job I could have? And I thought, well, that must be something like the White House. So I took out a piece of paper and I wrote the world's worst cover letter. It said, "Dear Mr. President, you should hire me." I still have a copy of it somewhere. It was terrible. I sent that sucker in and I'm like, well, that was a fun exercise on a Tuesday afternoon. I'm never hearing back about that. But about a month later, I was going past the Guam post office and the guy came out and he's like, "Eric, you got this letter from the White House." So I was like, well, that's cool. And the envelope said White House. I mean, this was very official, my friend. So I opened it up and it was an internship application. Now, I didn't know what the hell an internship was, but I was really good at filling out applications. So I filled that sucker in. Hey there, Amita from the DMV. Nice to see you. Abundance mindset. That's right, Deb Haas, right? So I filled that application out. I'm like, I'm never hearing back from those guys. I mailed it in. At least I had the cool envelope. I thought that was pretty cool, but that kind of got me inspired. I applied to some grad schools. I got into grad school here in Washington, D.C. and sort of landed, was dumpster diving for furniture, had this big bushy island haircut and, was trying to figure things out. Bought a pair of running shoes. I was out running past the White House one day. And I thought, those White House bastards, they never even bothered to let me know about that internship thing. What is up with that? What was up with that, Deb and Carl? Like, what was the deal there? So I found a payphone and I put in a quarter and I called them up. And I said, "Hey, you White House bastards, what about that internship thing?" And they're like, "Is this Eric from Guam?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Man, we've been trying to get in touch with you. You're supposed to start in the First Lady's office on Monday." So I thought, that's interesting. So I went and got a haircut and I bought a suit and I showed up. Now, folks, I don't know. This was a long time ago. I don't know if my politics matched yours, but this is going to tell you how old I am. This was back during the Clinton administration. I went to work for Hillary Rodham Clinton. She was a great boss. I wound up getting hired on her staff. Right? Spent a lot of the Clinton administration in the White House, wind up following her to the U.S. Senate, where I did a bunch of stuff to help serve the great state of New York. Followed her then to the U.S. State Department, where I did a bunch of UNESCO stuff. Eventually, I left Hillary Land, wind up as director of fellowships and internships at the Smithsonian Institution for 8 years. And all during this time, early career professionals, mid-career professionals, senior people, all different disciplines, tech, science, education, you name it. Hey there, Janice in Minnesota. Hi there, Deb. Yeah, thanks. She says, thank you, Deb, right? But I would see the same movie all the time where people trying to figure out job stuff, right? In a system that's not very linear or logical affair. So now I do a lot of speaking. I do a lot of coaching. I've written a ton of books, right? I have an outrageous number of certifications and credentials. It's all very impressive. I have glowing testimonials, and you don't care about any of that. Because what you care about is, can I help you? I don't know. Probably, maybe. Let's find out. So that's where I'm coming from, folks. So 4 strategies you can put to work today to elevate your job search. Now, folks, I like to give things away. So let's see if anybody gets this answer right. Here's my first question for you. What's a good resume about? Put it in the chat if you would, please. Hey there, Curtis in Little Canada, right? Put it in the chat. What's a good resume about? Let's see if anybody gets the answer right today. What's a good resume about? Because I know Jessa and Jelly want to give some stuff away. Okay, so RP, right? Oh, thank you. So appreciate that. So Jason says your story, getting to the point quickly about who you are. Oh, okay. So a lot of people are saying you, relevant experience. It's BS, says Rose. I haven't seen the right answer yet. Thomas says it's a professional journey. Sophia says your story. My value, says Tony. I've not seen the right answer, right? Thank you, Pat. So Bob says it's selling yourself. Hi, Cyrus from Iowa, right? I haven't seen the right answer. Katerina says experience in education, how to help the employer. So Grant, it's not bad, Grant. I see you there, Grant. So you know what? We're going to give it to Grant. A lot of you are saying a good resume is about me. Nah, a good resume is about them, right? So Grant, we've got a LinkedIn course. This is Grant Gerwatowski. Let's give this a Grant. So golf clap for Grant. Golf clap for Grant, right? So Grant, we have a free course. It's called How to Make Your LinkedIn Profile Awesome. So we're going to send you that course. So Jella and Jesse, let's make sure we send Grant that course. Right. And let's see if we've had anybody else that said it's about them. I I don't see anybody else, Grant. I think you might have been the first one. Now, some of you were saying, but Eric, I said it's about how I can help them. And see, that's not it. It's not how you can help them. It's how they can be helped. It's what's possible for them, right? You want to be influential with another person or organization. The first thing you want to talk about isn't you. You want to talk about them. So this brings us to strategy number 1. It's not about you, it's about them. Folks, if you get nothing else out of this workshop today, and by the way, if you're watching this on the replay, hello, video people. If you get nothing else out of this workshop today, if you get just this, will elevate your job search. Yeah, I see you there, Sunday. It's close. What you can do for the employer. Nah, it's what's possible for the employer. It's not what you can do, right? Because it's not about you, it's about them. So many job seekers are saying, and it's just case in point, they're like, me. Let me sell myself. Let me tell you about my skills and experience. Me. Let me have that big paragraph at the top of my resume that's my executive summary where I'll tell you all about myself. Like, how's that been working for you, folks? I'm so sorry, right? You don't want this to be about yourself. You want it to be about them because that's what employers are thinking about. They're thinking about them. So the opportunity for you is to likewise think about the employer first, right? And it's no wonder we assume that a resume is about us, because very often the first resume we ever did was out of school, and in school it is about us. It's our resume, right? It's our not our resume rather, but it's our cubby, it's our desk, it's our worksheet, it's our transcript, it's our diploma. And yet when we move to the working world, it's not about us at all. Hey, Jacob L., you booked a call. Nice job, Jacob L. So let's make sure we send Jacob L. that LinkedIn course as well. Yeah, we want to take care of Jacob. First one to book a call. Nice job, Jacob. So it's not about us. It's about them. It's about the person or organization we're applying to. Okay, so key point. And there's so many more to come. All right. So David says, hey, how are you? Nice to see you, David. Okay. So if I went to a public library and I saw a shelf full of storybooks and I looked at the front cover of the storybooks, I'd see some words. What do we call those words? Put it in the chat if you would, please. What do we call those words on the front cover of a storybook? What are those words called? I bet some of you know. Some of you know the answer. What do we call those words on the front cover of a storybook? Hey, we've got some answers here. I see a bunch of correct answers. Okay, so I'm seeing Marvin Arata, Charlie Parsons, and Teresa Goncalves. You were the first 3 I saw. It's a title. And I see lots of you have the right answer. So guys, let's make sure we take care of those first 3. Let's make sure we send them that LinkedIn course, right? Because they got the right answer, right? Now, title, isn't it interesting? That's the same term we use to label people in the workplace, which tells me that very much like, yeah, that's the LinkedIn course we're going to send you. You first 3, congratulations. You got the LinkedIn. Wild applause. It's amazing. Good job with the sound effects, Jessa Jelly. Stories, right? Just like we put words on the front cover of a storybook, the title is words we label on our career. Isn't it interesting? It's the same term. Let me ask you another question. What percent of human decision-making is emotional and what percent's logical? Let's put this in the chat. Let's see if anybody gets this one right. So is it 50-50, 60-40, 40-60, right? So what percent of human decision-making is emotional and what percent's logical? Let's see if anybody gets this right, right? So 60% emotional, says Deb, right? Teresa says it's 90%. Let's see if anybody gets the right answer. Pamela says 75. Aaron says 80. Serene says 75. Nope. Nobody's got that. Pratika says 70. Nobody's got the right answer yet. Jamie says 70. Pat says 60. April says 70. Eric Tarmy for the win. Eric Tarmy, Virginia. So great, Eric Tarmy. Eric Tarmy got it right. And you know what? I see a few others that we want to give it to. So, I saw a bunch of others actually. Okay, so I see Eric Tarmy, Brian Blanque, and I saw 2 more. I saw April Miller and I see Carlita. Okay, you are the first 4. It's 100% emotional. Human decision-making is 100% emotional. And the reason we know this is true is when somebody gets their limbic system damaged, they're fine. So guys, those first 4, let's make sure we send them that LinkedIn course. Okay, April and all the rest. We want to take care of April and Eric and all the rest. We want to make sure they get that LinkedIn course. Human decision-making is 100% emotional. And the reason we know it's 100% emotional is when somebody gets their limbic system damaged, They're fine, except they can't make a single decision. And that's the debilitating part. When you guys got on this workshop today, you very quickly decided whether you liked the shape of my face, the sound of my voice, whether you liked my shirt, the music we played. We had a theme song. How could you not like the theme song? But you decided. And it was an emotional decision, and it was almost instantaneous. And now you're just collecting data to rationalize the emotional decision that you've already made. And the reason this is important is stories is how we convey emotion. So if you're not using story in your job search, you're really leaving a lot on the table. Maya Angelou taught us, right? People will remember how you make them feel. So if you've been spending a lot of time being proficient in Microsoft Office, I'm a data-driven decision maker, stop. Nobody makes decisions based on data. Yeah, if you want to put some data points in your resume, it's fine. But you know these cats will walk around saying you have to have data in your resume. Yeah, that doesn't work. It doesn't work very well. Hey, Michael C., you booked a call. We look forward to talking to you, Michael. Good job, Michael. And let's admit, a bunch of people booked a call. So James F. booked a call. Michael C. booked a call. Yeah. So Muhammad, you got to get a right answer, Muhammad. Muhammad's like, send me the course. You got to get the right. Don't worry. There's going to be more questions. Okay. So emotion, stories. You're going to want to be using stories in your resume. And if you're not, you're leaving a lot on the table. Yeah, Sonia, I hear that. And I would say even people who live in the world of data-driven decisions, even you guys make decisions emotionally, even if you don't think you do. It happens all the time. You ever see somebody make a decision that didn't make sense? I mean, we see this all the time. Of course it didn't make sense because it's not based on sense, it's based on emotion. Happens everywhere. So for instance, I'll tell a story. One time I was taking applications for a program, and this woman, Maggie, had wrote in and talked about how the summer before she'd been in a terrible car wreck and her arm had been severed. Wow, that's quite a story. So we accepted Maggie into the program. As her arrival date neared, I'm thinking, well, we got to have accommodations for Maggie. She's just got one arm. She walks in the first day, 2 arms. Now, it was bandaged from where it had been partially severed and reattached, and she was doing some physical therapy. Maggie was going to be okay. Now, was I all pissed off that Maggie had 2 arms? Of course not. I was so happy Maggie had both her arms. And I remember how I felt when I saw her second arm to this day. Our capacity for processing data is like 20 bits a second. Our capacity for processing emotion is like 40 million bits a second. It's orders of magnitude greater. So if you're not incorporating story in your resume, your cover letters, your follow-up, your networking, you're really leaving a lot on the table, my friends, right? So you're going to want to have stories, lots of stories. Okay, let's see here. Hey, Joseph H., we look forward to talking to you. You booked a call. So guys, let's make sure we're taking care of these folks that book calls. Like let's send them the course. Okay, guys, I got another question for you. Speaking of logic, what's this guy's name? What's this guy's name? I'll give you a hint. He lives in Idaho. What's this guy's name? He likes llamas sometimes. What's this guy called? Who's going to get it right? Jay Len Yengel. Hey, Jay and Teresa. And Teresa, I think we already took care of you, right? But I see the first 3 I see are Jay and Teresa and Lance. Lance is quick on the draw. So we're going to give it to Chris Boiler as well. Those first 4, Napoleon Dynamite. Right. That's absolutely right. Now, folks, if you're not familiar with this particular fine piece of cinema, please stop your job search and go watch it. I mean, come on, folks. We're trying to create a society here. Now, I don't want to spoil it for you. Here's the deal with Napoleon Dynamite. He's a high school kid. He lives in Idaho. He sort of beats to his own drum. In this particular scene, he's in front of his entire school on stage. He's managed to get a cassette tape up to the sound booth, and the music's starting to play. Now, Napoleon's on the hook to do some sort of performance that he has not prepared for. The entire school's watching. What does Napoleon do? Well, Napoleon proceeds to do the craziest dance you've ever seen. I mean, he metaphorically opens the kimono, people. It is wild. And when he's done, he's sort of panting and sweaty, and the whole student body's like this, and then they burst into applause. And the reason it works is because it's so authentic. Jamie Kern-Lima, that's the course you guys are getting, by the way, right? Jamie Kern-Lima, the founder of IT Cosmetics, she says, everybody's a good, hey, Amy D, you booked a call. We look forward to talking to you. Nice job. Everybody's a good dancer if they commit fully. And she's right. She's 100% right? Everybody's a good dancer if they commit fully. Okay, 100%. And this brings us to the idea of authenticity. Guys, my friends, humans hire humans. Humans don't hire robots, and robots don't hire humans, and robots certainly don't hire robots. And I can hear you all collectively, many of you, but Eric, what about the ATS? What about algorithms? That's a hard word to say. Algorithms. I can't say it very well. Maybe that's why I don't believe in it that much, right? What about AI? Look, guys, AI is a miracle. And yes, there are some employers out there that use all sorts of different software to basically accept applications to file them in a certain way. And all the programs are different. And at the end of the day, it's a data collection. So people that are out there saying you need an ATS optimized resume, like those of you who paid for that or you've spent a lot of time ATS optimizing your resume, how's that going? I'm sorry, I already know. Right? Humans hire humans. And we're going to talk a lot more about this. Alex N booked a call. Nice job, Alex N. We look forward to talking to you. So remember, those of you who are out there trying to be proficient in Microsoft Office, yes, stop that. It doesn't work. In an increasingly automated AI world, the opportunity is to be more human, not less. People are going to hire Alex N because Alex N is the most Alex N person in the world. Okay, Megan. So Leo booked a call. Nice job, Leo. We look forward to talking to you. Megan, we'll put up the link. Yeah, you're fine, Megan. I'm not sure. Yeah, thanks you guys for booking the call. We're going to send you the course, I promise, right? Humans hire humans. So you're going to want to be relatable. Case in point. Notice, by the way, I'm about to tell another story, right? We're taking applications for a program, right? And I had two. One guy, Tom, told me he played the trumpet. Another guy didn't. I had to take one. Who did I take? I took Tom because at least he played the trumpet. Right. We actually had a client this time last year, a lady out of Vegas. She decided to put on her resume 2 truths and a lie. She got 2 interviews and 2 offers just from doing that. So now all my clients do it. It's brilliant. Right. Humans hire humans. The opportunity for you is to be more human on your resume, not less. Authenticity is your superpower, my friends. Okay. Strategy number 4. Samantha B, you booked a call. Nice job, Samantha B. We look forward to talking to you. Right. Abe Lincoln, give me 6 hours to cut down a tree and I'll spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. Thank you so much, Carlita. I appreciate that. Right? Which brings us to the idea of systems. Some of you have, well, first of all, some of you are saying, well, I don't have a job searching system. Yes, you do. For some of you, the system is I'm hiding my age. For some of you, the system is I'm worried about ATS. For some of you, the system is I'm going to remove everything but the last 15 years of my job experience because some 20-something recruiter told me to. For some of you, the system is I'm going to have that very fancy sounding paragraph at the top of my resume, giving an executive summary of everything I've done, and it'll have no context. It'll be all about me. And maybe the recruiter will just read that and won't read the rest of it. How are all those systems working? I already know, and I'm sorry. Right. So the issue is that you're not like, you're going to, if the system that you have isn't working, the definition of insanity is continuing to use that same system and thinking you're going to get a different result. It's not going to happen. Right. The opportunity is hey, Matt, as you booked a call, we look forward to talking to you, Matt. Nice work. Make sure we send Matt that LinkedIn course, right? You're going to want to have a system that gets you better results than the results you've been getting. Now, look, folks, for a lot of you, this is your current system. And my heart goes to you because you've used every combination, every dial and sticky button and gear shift. I mean, you've worked your heart out trying to use this system to steer yourself to job search success. And you're wondering why you're not getting anywhere. This is the system that's available. Now, you can spend a lot of time and money, go beep, beep. That's right, Charlie, going from this system to this system. And I mean, I'll guess you'll get there eventually. But God, it sounds painful. Right? Or you could just like adopt a system that has worked really well for a lot of other people, right? That's the opportunity here. Hey, Scott, and you booked a call. We look forward to talking to you, right? So how do you put all this to work? So guys, I want to show you a quick video because I'm going to take a drink of Diet Coke because why wouldn't I, right? I want to show you a video right now of somebody who used some of these systems we're talking about. We're going to talk about 9 tactics here in a sec. Her name's Angel. She came to the workshop just like this one, sat where you were sitting, and she's like, I got to do something different. And she invested in the program, was afraid that it would cost her a lot of money. She was worried about all of it. She took the leap, and here was the result she got. Go ahead, guys. In the time we've got left, I'm curious, especially if there's somebody we haven't heard from yet. They've had a win, a loss. Angel, I got to ask you, what do we know, if anything? What do we know?
I got the job. Yay!
Whoa!
Offer. I'm moving in a week. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. And I know when we first met, you're like, oh, like let's get something by your birthday. And my birthday is in 4 days, so I was able to do it. Yay!
And I just want to acknowledge you. Like, you dove in, you did it, you did the work.
Thank you.
Way to go.
It would have been possible without like signing up for this program, truly. I think it made the difference for me.
So good, Angel.
Yeah.
Really happy for you.
Yeah.
Super awesome. Congratulations to you. Yeah. Yay, Angel. Yay, Angel. Hey, Jayla S., you booked a call. We look forward to talking to you. And Marvin, I see you there. So Marvin's saying, Marvin, were you one of the first ones that got the right answer and I missed you? So if that's the case, guys, we're going to take Marvin for Marvin's word. Let's make sure we send Marvin the course as well. And definitely Jayla S., right? We got to take care of Jayla S. All right, guys. So I have a program. It's called Get Hired Fast. It's what Angel was talking about. It's amazing. We're going to talk more about it here in a little bit. Right? It comes with a lot of one-on-one coaching, group coaching. It comes with a course. I mean, you think this course is good. Wait till you see the paid stuff. Comes with a community. It's amazing. The question is not whether it works. The question is, like, do you want to keep doing what you've been doing to get the same result you've been getting, or do you want to get some help? That's the question. But we're going to talk more about that later. So guys, if you're interested in finding out more about this, like Curtis J., who just booked a call. Nice job, Curtis J. Sign up for a call. Our calendar's filling up. A couple weeks ago, our calendar filled up. So we don't want that to happen. If you want to talk, don't wait. As long as you're going to show up, like, do not book a call and cancel. Like, don't do that. And you're at least interested in making an investment in yourself and you're ready to get started. If that's you, book a call. All right, guys, 9 tactics. Here we go. We're going to rock and roll here. Rock and roll, baby. So this is the part of the workshop where I like to talk real fast because some people who are watching the replay have me on 9 times speed and now it's like 500 times speed and it freaks them out. Thank you, live people. I hope that didn't give you a heart attack. Let's say there's a lake and in the middle of the lake, someone's drowning. Thomas T. booked a call. We look forward to talking to you, Thomas T. Nice job, right? Somebody's in the middle of the lake drowning. Now they're surrounded by other people in little boats. Okay, so somebody's in the middle of the lake drowning and they're surrounded by other people in little boats. If that was a job search, metaphorically, who's the person drowning? Put it in the chat if you would, please, because I want to give away some more LinkedIn courses, right? Who's the person drowning in the middle of the lake, right? They're drowning, surrounded by other people in little boats. If that was a job search, who's the person drowning? I'm curious if anybody will get the right answer. So Lance says me, right? Everybody's saying me, the hunter. The hunter says Teresa. So Aaron says me. I'm seeing a lot of me, right? A lot of me. I don't see the right answer yet. Oh, William Bryson, right on the head. That's right, William. Exactly. It's the employer. Now, notice a lot of you are saying it's me. I'm the one drowning. No, you're not. Folks, you're the one in the boat. And by the way, if you were drowning in the water right now, you couldn't be watching this workshop because your computers aren't that waterproof. If you're not drowning, you just want a job. On the other hand, William's right. It's the employer. Hey, Terrence G., you booked a call. We look forward to talking to you, Terrence, right? Like William's right. It's the employer. And the reason we know they're drowning is they've told us. They said, help, we're drowning. We're drowning in work. We got too much work. You as the job seeker are in the boat. Now, here's the thing, though. A lot of you are acting, just like you said here in this chat, you're acting as though you're the one drowning. Right. And it doesn't work because, like, if you were in the boat and somebody was in the water drowning and you rode up to them and you're like, hey, pick me. I'd be the best one to rescue you. The person in the water would be like, well, I need help and not from that guy. Right. Needy is creepy. So this brings us to the idea of mindset. Again, guys, if you get nothing out of this workshop today, this is one of those big things. Mark S. booked a call. We look forward to talking to you, Mark S. Mindset. A lot of you are coming from a place of scarcity. Right? You're like, I hope they pick me. Realize that you want a job and it doesn't have to be that job. There's only one Curtis. There's only one Mark. So you can come from a place of abundance. You want to approach your job not from a place of selling yourself. You want to approach your job search from a place of service. That's right, Deb. Abundance, all in caps. That's 100% right. People don't want to be sold. And by the way, guys, we've gone over this historically. Selling people's weird. It's bad. It's really, really bad. Don't do that. It's creepy and horrible, right? Buying people's even worse. Don't do any of that, right? We don't want to sell ourselves. We don't want to put them in a position where they feel like they're buying us, right? We want to come from a place of service. Yeah, 100%. All right, guys, I got another one for you. Tactic number 2. Some of you have seen the show Deadliest Catch, right? Where they put these big steel cage pots or crab pots on the bottom of the ocean floor with a little bit of bait, hoping some crabs will crawl in there, right? They catch some crab. And sure enough, it happens. Bob sees the bait. Hey, James B., you booked a call. We look forward to talking to you, James. Right? Bob the crab crawls in there. Oh, delicious. Such yummy food. Right? And then Sally and Cheryl and all the other crabs join. More and more crabs join because crabs like to be with other crabs. That's how crabs roll. Right? And eventually, one of the crabs, his name's Charlie, he's like, hey, boys, I'm out of here. That's how Charlie talks because he's a crab. Is that how crabs talk? I don't know, but that's my crab voice. You're just going to have to deal with it, right? Charlie's like, I'm out of here. Now, here's the interesting part. The other crabs will pull Charlie back in because they don't want Charlie to get away because crabs like to hang out with other crabs. They'll even pull off one of Charlie's arms, poor Charlie. They'll even do a crab murder on Charlie because crabs like to be with other crabs. And of course, the sad part is they all get pulled up to become dinner. This brings us to tactic number 2, which is your environment. A lot of people don't even consider it. A lot of people think, oh, I'm not going to get in the job because I don't have the right experience, or it's the economy, or I'm too old, right? Oh, thank you, Maquilla. I was looking for it, liking the stories. I appreciate you. And I'm sorry, I just mispronounced your name, right? Right? A lot of people are thinking it's a bunch of stuff. Nah, more than likely it's either your systems, which we already talked about. Hey, Sophia B., you booked a call. We look forward to talking to you. Or it's your environment. Let's make sure we take care of Sophia, guys. Right? It's your environment. And it can be your intellectual environment, your social environment, your emotional environment, right? All of it. It could be the book you're reading written by somebody who lived 100 years ago. That counts. So you're going to want to fine tune your environment to support your job search. Some of you have a family environment where you've got family members that are like, oh, please just settle. We don't want you to have to go through the pain of job searching. So just settle and be safe and our family will have less money. Anybody that sound familiar to anybody, right? That's your environment. And again, you're going to want to optimize your environment for job hunting. It's hugely, hugely important. Some of you are familiar with the idea of reference group, right? You're the average weight income of the 5 people you hang out with. Exactly. A lot of times when clients join the program, this is one of the biggest things we change that they're not even aware that it was an issue for them. All right, guys, tactic number 3, here we go. Got to say all the letters. I missed a few. Okay, fair. I'm not sure what that means. But Nitesh B. booked a call. Nice job, Nitesh. Look forward to talking to you. So let's talk about tactic number 3. It's hard to hit a blurry target. Hey, Stephen D., you booked a call. We look forward to talking to you, right? This brings it to tactic number 3, which is vision. Some of you are familiar with the proverb, where there is no vision, the people perish. Sometimes I'll talk to job seekers and I'll be like, hey, how much money do you want to make? And they'll be like, well, I don't know, anywhere from $50,000 to $150,000. That's my voice I use for the job seeker that doesn't really know what they want, right? And I'm like, okay, well, you sound a lot like Gomer Pyle, and that could be problematic. I'm like, Gomer, what kind of job do you want to do? Tyler S. booked a call. Nice job, Tyler S. And maybe Gomer will say, well, I want to help people. And I'm like, that's really beautiful, Gomer, and it's super effing vague. You want to have clarity in your job search. This is the idea of the reticular activating system. If I say the color red, all of you are instantly more familiar with red just because I said it. Okay? Just because I said it, you're more familiar with the color red. Okay? Bruce Lee has this great quote, like, be careful what you tell yourself. Your body's listening. John C. booked a call. Nice job. Oh, I said Makila, not Maquilina. All right, Maquilina. Sorry. I hope I didn't murder your name again. I'm doing my best. I'm doing a big workshop, Maquilina. I hope I get the chance to meet you. And then I'll get your name right. Names are important. Don't mess around with names, right? So like clarity really, really matters. You're going to want to have that clarity. There's a reason when race car drivers go drive 500 miles in a circle, they don't look at the outer wall because the car will tend to go where they look. So if you don't have the map before you go into the forest, you're going to be like one of those race car drivers driving 500 miles in a circle because you don't have any vision. It's really, really, really important. All right, guys, I got another question for you. Here we go. If I went to the store and I bought this, what would I be buying? Put it in the chat if you would, please. Right? Put it in the chat if you would, please. What would I be buying? If I went to the store and I bought this, what would I be buying? Let's see if anybody gets this one right. Lance says a cordless drill. Jayla says a drill. Brenda says drill. Right? Craig says a not working tool. That's correct. So Ibrahim says hand drill. Haven't seen the right answer. Manish says power drill. Nope, nope, nope. Danilo says product. Nope, nope, nope. Nobody's got the right answer yet. Oh, Tony Carlson. Well, we're gonna give it to Tony Carlson, and we're gonna give it to I think it was Pat that I saw. Let's see here. I think it was Pat. Sorry. Yeah, Pat Barry. So Tony and Pat. What I'm actually buying here are holes. I don't need this beautiful thing sitting around my garage. I got enough stuff in my garage. I don't need this. What I want are holes. So what I'm buying here are holes. And actually, now that I think about it, I actually don't need a bunch of holes in my wall. That'd be kind of crazy. What I actually want is a place to put the hook. And actually, I don't even want a bunch of hooks coming out of my walls. Nicole booked a call. Nice job, Nicole. Nicole doesn't want a bunch of hooks coming out of her walls. That'd be crazy. All right, gash our arms open. We don't want that. What we actually want is a place to hang the photo. And we actually don't even want that. What we really want is the feeling we get when we look at the picture of our beautiful family that's hanging on the photo, that's hanging on the hook that's in the hole that was made by the drill. Sunday R booked a call. We look forward to talking to you Sunday. So this brings us to the idea. And so you guys who booked a call, we're going to make sure we give you the LinkedIn course 100%, right? Is the idea of giving people safety. A lot of you are approaching your job search just talking about me. Let me sell myself. Let me talk about me. Well, that's a hot dumpster fire. That's clearly not working. Some of you are talking about them and you're talking about the drill. When people attend this workshop and I hear from them about 6 months later and they're like, Eric, I still don't have a job. I'm doing what you said. I'm like, show me. A lot of times they're talking about the drill instead of the thing that keeps the person up at night when they're working to go to sleep. If we can get to that, do you see how this is so much more sophisticated than worrying about ATS and hiding your age and playing games with your resume? Randall does. Randall just booked a call. Nice job, Randall. Right? This is how we get hired fast. If we can make them feel seen, heard, and understood, this is how we get hired fast. And the good news is most of your competitors aren't doing any of this. They're busy with all that other nonsense, like which up till now you might have been too. Not anymore, because now you know better. Tactic number 5, guys. All right, guys, we're getting to Q&A, I promise. Tactic number 5, resumes. Now, look, folks, resumes are sort of the least good way we've come up with to do job searching, and it's what we have. So this brings us to tactic number 5, which is paper, right? Cover letters, resumes, follow-up, it all matters. It matters what you send, how you send it, when you send it, where you send it, to whom you send it, and what you say. And realize it's just a communication, please. And the last thing you're going to want to do is communicate with potential employers in the ways that everybody else is. Brandon W is going to learn how to do this. Brandon just booked a call. So even simple things, like I noticed lately, a lot of my clients, when they write thank you notes, what are they beginning their thank you note with? Thank you. Looks like everybody else. Don't do that. It's like on somebody's birthday, starting out by saying happy birthday. I mean, it's okay. And it's just really basic, right? You want to be the person that stands out. Don't do that. Talk about something else. Talk about them. And those of you who are like, well, I use best practices with don't use best practices with your resume. Why would you? It's professional camouflage. You want to communicate with employers in a way they cannot ignore. For instance, my resume, which is sort of like I have hyperlinks in my resume. They've got logos. Now, I don't want you to copy my resume, but this is the most Eric resume there is. Amita T booked a call. Nice job, Amita T. Right? I wonder what the most Amita T resume would be. It wouldn't look like this. It would look like something else. And we want Amita T to have the most Amita T resume that's ever existed. Okay, guys, here we go. Tactic number 6. If a job application is submitted and there is no follow-up, does it even make a sound? I would humbly suggest that it doesn't, which brings us to tactic number 6. Some of you are applying and you're like, well, golly, maybe you're going to talk like, you're like, golly, I sure hope I hear back. This is the voice that people use when they apply and they don't follow up. Shucks. I'm sorry. I'm a little punchy, right? Right? The opportunity for you is to follow up, not just on interviews, but to follow up. And by the way, when you follow up, you don't want it to sound like, hey, just wanted to check in, or hey, I'm really passionate about your job. And we don't want to follow up with the recruiter because they're professionally trained ninjas about keeping you away from the hiring manager. Nadine L booked a call. Nice job. Guys, I just want to reveal something. I have a sneeze that's like in process. So if it happens, I don't want you to be alarmed. Okay. It could happen. Follow up. Really, really, really important. Now, some of you are like, but Eric, following up's kind of pushy, isn't it? I don't know. Let's say you're in the boat and somebody's floating face down in the water. You'd say, sir, do you need some help? And if they were like floating there, you wouldn't be like, I don't want to bug them. No, you'd jump in the water, you'd flip them over, you'd start doing mouth to mouth. And if they were like, lady, I was just snorkeling, you'd be like, my bad. And you'd be willing to offend in the name of service. This isn't about pleasing people. It's not about looking good. This is about service. Yeah, the squeaky wheel, Jamie, gets greased, but I would say it's also the wheel that's coming from a place of service. You're going to want to follow up. Now, some of you, hey, Jonathan V, booked a call. Nice job, Jonathan V. Now, some of you are asking, but Eric, how do I follow up? A lot of times I don't have their contact information. I got your back. I have a course. Victoria M booked a call. Nice job, Victoria Ann. It's called How to Contact Anybody. So the next time you're in this particular situation, you've applied and you want to follow up and you're like, how the hell do I reach them? Now you have an answer. Here's how you get this course. You're going to go to my LinkedIn. We're going to drop the link in the chat right now. Thank you, Jessa and Jelly. Right? You guys are doing a hell of a job. You're going to go to my LinkedIn profile. You're going to hit follow or connect. Like you're going to connect with me on LinkedIn. Right? When you do, you're going to send me an email that says the word chicken. Chicken. You're going to write me the word chicken. And when you do, my team's going to send you a link about how to get this free course. So again, you're going to go to my LinkedIn. You're going to follow me, connect with me. You're going to email me the word chicken. Chicken. And we're going to send you this course. That's how that works. Okay. How amazing is that? So now you won't ever have to worry about this again. Patricia C booked a call. Nice job, Patricia C. Patricia C is not a chicken. Jessa and Jelly are like, damn it, he's not supposed to do 3 chickens. All right, guys. So that's how that works. How to contact anybody. So that's right, Michelle, right? You're going to want to follow up from a place of service. Megan G booked a call. Nice job. All right, guys, we're on the final 2 tactics. Final 3. Here we go. Tactic number 7. Some of you, right, have seen the Academy Awards and the actor gets up there and she wins some big prize and she's like, well, I got nobody to thank. And it's sort of awkward and people are looking around, right? No, it doesn't happen. She's like, I got to thank this person and this person and this people. And they're playing the music. They're trying to get her off stage, right? It brings us the idea of networking. Asking for help makes you strong, not weak. Folks, there's only one reason that employers will hire you. Only one. It's not your skills. It's not your experience. It's not even if they like you. It's not even if you can do the job. It's do they trust you? And as Brene Brown has taught us, the way we build trust is through vulnerability. And a great way to build vulnerability is to ask people for help. And by the way, it's a gift because we wouldn't ask for help unless their help was worth asking for. And so you're going to want to have a system well, first of all, a lot of you are like, well, I asked my network. I'd be like, well, how many people you know? We're like, well, I don't know, 300. I'm like, no, you know more. Adam H knows more people than 300, right? If you're on this workshop and you're over 20 years old, you know at least 1,000 people in your life. And if you're over 30, you probably know more like 10,000. Okay. And I'd be like, well, how many of those people know you're job searching? You'd be like, well, quite a few. And I'd be like, well, how do they know? Right. So yeah, Cyrus, you got to go to my LinkedIn, buddy. You got to go to my LinkedIn and connect. Email won't do it. You got to connect to my LinkedIn, right? InMail, right? That's how that works. Okay. Right. And I'd be like, well, how do they know? Well, I posted it on LinkedIn 3 months ago. Nah, that means all those people would have had to go to LinkedIn on that day and remembered it it doesn't work like that. And by some of you are reaching out to connect. It's like you've got a fishing line, right? And you got to get the right bait on the right fish at the right time. Oh boy, that sounds exhausting. And I mean, lightning might strike. The alternative is you want to say either one, Luigi, like, yeah, send me a message that says chicken, Luigi, chicken, right? You want to have a system that allows you to filter the ocean consistently. That doesn't take all your time. It's one of the systems that we offer in the Get Hired Fast program. It's awesome. And it gets people hired real damn fast. All right, guys. Final 2 things here. Interviews. Are you ready for the best interview advice in the world? Here it is. Don't answer their questions because they're really only asking one question. And that question is this. Jake N booked a call. Nice job. Nice job, Jake N. They're really only asking one question. Here's the question. Can I trust you? That's it. That's it. They're going to say things like, tell me about a time you had a professional achievement, or tell me about yourself, or tell me about a time you took a risk or disagreed with your boss, or what's your leadership style? The only question they're really asking is, can I trust you? Now, look, folks, if we lived in a certain kind of society, they could say, can I trust you? Yes or no. And then, I mean, it'd be real quick, but we don't live in that universe, right? People believe what we show them more than what we tell them. So answer their questions really isn't it. They're really just making mouth noise to get you to make mouth noise so they can evaluate your mouth noise to feel if they can trust you. That's it. So if you're going to make mouth noise in response to their questions, you might as well give answers and tell stories that are going to build trust. That's the whole ball game. It's one of the things that, a lot of times people come to our program and they have no problem getting interviews, but they just can't get through them. Wesley F. booked a call. Nice job, Wesley F. Right? So let's make sure we're taking care of all these folks. Right? They get like 3 rounds in and then they keep getting the no and they're wondering why. Because they don't trust you. Look, folks, this is happening in real time. Some of you are booking calls right now. And the only reason you're booking calls is you've decided you trust me in this program. That's it. And some of you are like, right? Or maybe you don't trust yourself would be the other way, right? I don't believe in myself. That's okay. It's something personal. It happens. This is about trust. You want to get hired fast. You want to build trust with employers. That's what we help people do. Tim R., I trust you too. You booked a call. Nice job, Tim R. Okay, guys, final one here, and then we're going to get some Q&A. Actually, I'm going to introduce you to some people first. We've never actually done this before. It's super exciting, and they've been listening to me talk for like all this time. They're tired of it. They want to talk, right? Offers, right? 2 things when it comes to offers. 1, you don't have to worry if you want a job until you get the offer, and you don't have to worry if you're qualified. They'll have an opinion. When we're handling offers, we want to handle them from a place of possibility. I was just talking to a client last night, a guy named Jesse, got an offer. It's amazing. Michael C. booked a call. And so Jesse's in the middle of navigating an offer right now. He's been doing all this stuff. He got an offer. I'm so happy for him. And so we're talking about it, right? And Jesse was like, well, maybe if this happens or this happens, I won't take it. I'm like, no. Stay in possibility. We don't have to decide any of this, right? So a lot of times people pay for this program just based on how we help them navigate the offers. 100%. So look, guys, you guys have been such a great crowd. 4 strategies, 9 tactics. This is how you get hired fast right here. So look, guys, some of you have booked a call, and I want to introduce you to some of the people that you may be talking to. I'm going to bring them on stage right now. So look, folks, we've never done this before, so it's very possible I'm going to mess this up. Let's see, right? So let's see if we can get this to work. Oh, I don't worry yet, but we're going to guys. I'm going to bring them on stage now. Lo and behold, it worked.
Hello.
Here it is. So I want to introduce Natalia Ruiz and Jason Guthrie. They're a couple of our enrollment coaches. So Natalia, I'm tired of talking. Like, talk to people about this program. Like, lay it on them. What have I lied about on here?
Absolutely. So thank you so much for having us. We are part of the enrollment team. So I'm Natalia Ruiz, Director of Enrollment here at Win at Work. And me and our team, like, we talk every day with professionals who are amazing at what they do, but they still feel stuck in this process, right? And we're going to talk a little bit about how we help you through that, kind of like getting unstuck. But I want us to also introduce Jason, which is our Senior Enrollment Manager. He talks to professionals like you every single day.
Hey guys, appreciate you being here.
Absolutely. So yeah, let's go a little bit into, kind of like what we want to do and kind of like show you, the process and what is happening kind of like behind the scenes. But something that we wanted to kind of like share with you guys, it's a little bit about like what happens in what we call the cost of inaction, right? And it's pretty much the cost of waiting. So this is like a chart that we've been looking at, the clients that come and work with us. And what we have noticed is that the longer that we stay in the same place, the more income, the more confidence we start leaving behind, right? So when we look at it, like, it's very simple math, right? Like the annual salary, 90K, 100K, 150, 180, like per month, this is how much it is costing us not to have the job that we want, right? And then when we get per week, like, we are looking at numbers that we're just leaving on the table. So Jason, you talk to hundreds of professionals each week. What do you notice most about kind of like the cost of waiting?
Oh, I mean, there's a few different things. The cost of waiting a lot of times is it feels more comfortable for people to wait because they want to invest in themselves. You're basically investing this amount of money in yourself that you're going to be able to finally do it, and resting that on hope. Um, sometimes it works. Eventually it will work. But the question is, how long is eventually, and can you wait that long?
100%, 100%. Because each week that passes, we are not paying with money, but we're paying with time, and that time is costing us money out of our savings, out of our 401ks. Like that's just what is happening, right? And our mission is to get you out of that kind of like wheel, right? And that's why like Dr. Eric Buder like created Get Higher Fast, right? Which is a 12-week system designed to help professionals just like you land those high quality jobs faster, right? And at a higher salary that you could have done it on your own, right? And what I really love about this process is how hands-on this is, right? This is not like a cookie cutter for everyone, but like we really customize each and every step for you, right? You're getting direct coaching, you're getting accountability, you're getting a clear roadmap that's already helped hundreds of professionals just like you to get higher fast. So, Jason, since you've enrolled so many of our clients, like what do you think is the biggest surprise that they get once they are in the program? Like what's the thing that they're like, oh my God, like I didn't realize like I was going to get this in the program, and I'm super excited that I have it.
I think the biggest thing that people, it's really a breath of fresh air for a lot of people when they realize how responsive, how much we actually work with them, how much support you get. In the end, it is all on you, right? You're the one that has to show up. You have to do the work, but we're going to guide you along that way. And so from people that have come from other programs or just have just been doing this on their own, that's a big thing that I notice of them just saying how supported they feel, and how before they were just scattered with where they put their energy, and now they have targets and they have action plans and they have places to direct that energy to actually get them to where they want to be.
100%. I love that. Thank you, Jason. And how about you, Dr. Eric? What do you think is kind of like, the biggest thing that people see when they join us?
Yeah, because there's some programs where they're like, we specialize in helping you be a rocket scientist or an art historian. And, sometimes we'll get that question, well, do you help ancient Babylonian cabinet maker, like a specific industry? And I'm like, nah, I could put an art historian next to a rocket scientist and they're going to have the same problem. And I could put two art historians next to each other and it's going to be completely different, right? I can put a CEO next to an intern, right? And it doesn't matter. Like everybody's issues are different. For some people, it's they don't have clarity around what they want. For some people, they had a bad boss 3 jobs ago. For some people, it can just be they're not really confident in interviews. For some people, they don't know how to put together a resume. Everybody's different, and we treat everybody as an individual. Yeah, 100%.
100%. I love that. Thank you, Coach. So, yeah, I wanted to kind of like walk you guys through the process, right, of what happens once you join in. So, pretty much each week, as you see, like it builds momentum, right? Because you're never going to be kind of like wondering, like, okay, what's going to be next? Just as Jason was saying, like, we know exactly how to take you from step 1 to step 2, right? So, pretty much, I mean, by week 2, your resume and your mindset are strong, right? But week 5, your networking, your systems, like everything is in motion. By week 9, you're getting interviews. And of course, by week 12, like offers are coming in, right? Now, this is kind of like the process, right? But as we just said, like this is something that is going to be customized for you. So for many of our clients, this actually happens way faster. And we'll show you that in a second. But Dr. Eric, do you want to talk a little bit about our clients?
Yeah, we got so many, and guys, I'm noticing the time. So if some of you have to drop, just know, like, come talk to us, right? If you've got, but I've got extra time. We've got extra time, so don't take off unless you have to, because we're gonna get some Q&A. But like Jessie, right? She was a nonprofit executive, and we got her a couple of offers, right, before she accepted one. She kept coming to me. I'm like, Eric, do I have to take this offer? Jessie, if you're watching this, I don't think that's your voice. That's just me. Right. So that was really successful. Right. We've got, we've got like Rob was somebody who was living overseas and came here and didn't want to like be job searching like when he arrived, and we got that handled. Like Wayne was another guy that got multiple offers, and he was worried that he kept saying no until he got the offer he wanted. Amy was somebody who had gone through a bunch of interviews and had gotten right to the end and then gotten no. John was a CEO that we got into an interim CEO position that turned into a full-time thing. Philip was an early professional who he got like 2 offers at once. You already heard from Angel. So it's like everybody's different, and everybody's got a different story. So the question isn't sort of like whether this works. It just does. It just does. So anyhow, that's what I would say about those.
Thank you, Coach. And 100% it does. And this is kind of like the data that shows it, right? Because most of our clients land their ideal role within 2 to 3 months, right? And as you can see, like our biggest majority happens on, month 2. And it's not about just getting you hired in any job just because we're promising you that we're going to help you get hired fast. This is about getting you hired in the job that it's in alignment for you, that gives you the ideal salary, that gives you the ideal time and quality with your family, right? So this is the part because, that's why we call it get hired fast, right? Because it actually happens that fast when you have like those expert eyes on your process. So, Jason, you've already tracked like so many success story. Like, what does this timeline look like in practice when you've seen our clients already getting hired?
The timeline, it can switch back and forth between whoever you are, right? I think I had someone that got hired in 9 days. Which was insane. But it's really about what you put into it, right? Whatever program you join our program. It's all about just putting in the effort, the time, you get in what you put, or you get out what you put in, right? So that is the biggest thing. If you want fast success, it's showing up. It's not resisting. It's not waiting. It's not saying, well, I'll keep doing my own thing for a bit and then you do this. It's going in all in, and it's trusting us, and it's applying these strategies, and then it's getting the job as fast as you possibly can.
100%. And putting in the right work, right? Because many of us have been in a place of like trying to find a job and then just throwing out applications and doing things and everything, but there's not a real strategy behind it. So that's why we're like, okay, this is not going to be able to get us to the results that we want. So when we say put in the work, put in the time, we don't mean 20 hours a day. We mean concise, direct work that is going to get us there. With at least 2 hours a day, we're going to be able to help you get hired fast.
100%. Like, it's pretty funny. Jason just went to go talk to somebody that I think just booked a call.
Yes.
It's pretty funny, right? Hey, way to go, Todd. Way to go, Todd. So it's it's just like the program really works. And Natalia, I just so appreciate you because Natalia can speak better about this than I can. This is the first time we've ever done this, so it's actually pretty cool. But it's like, guys, this program works, right? The last thing you're going to want to do is just keep doing what you've been doing to get the same results you've been getting. So I don't know, Natalia, you want to talk them through this part, and we'll get to some Q&A.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the logistics. Because, this is kind of like the part where most people hesitate because they're like, okay, what does that actually look like?
Yeah, I can't afford it. All that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. So no worries. Again, we meet you where you are, right? So come talk to us, talk to our team. We're going to really understand where you're at, what is your ideal scenario, and most importantly, how can we help you get there? Because that is our commitment, to help you get hired fast, right? Because of that, we have multiple payment plans available. We partner up with Klarna, with PayPal, right? They are our financial partners, which allow us to do things as low as around $300 per month, right? And then once you get hired, you can just take care of the rest, right? Because again, that is our commitment to you, because we place 100% of the professionals that stick with our program, right? Yep. That's why we were looking at the data earlier.
Yep, 100%. And guys, if nothing else, like book a call, you get some great coaching. But like my encouragement for you is like coming to a webinar like this and doing a coaching call. Like we can only do so much, right? So if you really want transformation, like this isn't really about information as much as it is transformation. The reason I have a coach, the reason people get results when they work with our coaches is because, it's a system, it's a practice. That's what's going to move the needle. If doing this on your own had been working, it would have already worked. So I say that with a lot of love, right, guys? We've got the receipts. This year alone, I think we've worked with, I don't know, at least 400 or 500 people this year alone. Many thousands have come to the workshop. And some of those thousands are still searching. And a lot of the people that have signed up with us are in jobs right now. It's funny. Some of them are. I gotta create the follow-on program because people who got hired are still coming back because they're finding they get a lot of skills to succeed in their job by getting a job. So look, guys, if you haven't booked one already, Natalia's waiting, I'm waiting. Book a call and let's get this job stuff handled. 100%. Anything more to say about that, Coach?
Yeah, 100%. This is going to be your strategy call, right? This is the time where we go one-on-one, where we look at your background, identify what's blocking your job search, and really map out kind of the fastest path forward for you.
100%.
Right?
Nice job, Chad M. Nice job. Yeah. So guys, we would love to take questions. Again, I've got extra time. There's still a whole bunch of you on this call. Natalia, you mind sticking around? Because you can help me answer these questions. 100%. I don't want to do it all by myself. It makes me sad. I'm really, guys, and just guys, if hey, you booked a call, but not sure if you're really booked. Hey, Sarav, so let's make sure you booked and we'll double check on Sarav. And Tiffany H, you booked a call. Nice job. Sarav Kumar, let's make sure we take care of Sarav. Make sure Justin and Jelly, he booked a call. But we've got some questions to get answered. Let's bring them on. Bring them on, team. Bring them on. Okay. So Lucy says, what if you keep getting laid off and replaced by cheaper labor? It's possible, but very often, a lot of employers, they're after results, right? Now some employers, there's economics they have to deal with, and sure, yeah, there can be, it's possible to get undercut, but that's part of Lucy. That's part of why you want to be the most Lucy in the world, because nobody else can be a better Lucy than you, Lucy. So if you're the most Lucy possible, you don't have to worry about somebody else coming in to replace you because you're the most Lucy that there's ever been. Yeah. Hope that makes sense. All right. And Coach, feel free to chime in here if you have thoughts that I miss. All right. Next question, please. So you said pay the rest once you get the job. How much is it overall? I could chime in. You Natalia, you want to address that? It kind of depends, right?
Correct. As we said, this is not a cookie cutter. Everything is the same for everyone. That's why our session is really important, because that's where we're going to get to see okay, what is the deeper level of support that you need? And based on that, then we can tell you exactly how much that will be for you.
Yeah. Now there's still quite a bit of you who've stuck around, so I want to reward you. Now Jason will get mad at us, but Natalia, we have a Black Friday deal coming up, right? So that's part of the reason, and it again, depending on how you pay for it and whether it's something you're ready to go or you're going to wait and think about it, all those things determine. And by the way, if we don't think we can help you, we're not going to take your money. I'd like to, and I don't know, that just feels creepy. We're not going to do that. I'm just kidding, right? We don't do that. I don't do that. I don't like people that do that.
No, that messes
up. Not how we roll.
100%.
Yeah. And not only that, right? If we bring you in the program, the guarantee is we're going to work with you until you get the job. So if I don't think I can help somebody, I'm not going to take you in the program. Okay. What is our next question here? Love these questions. All right. You read this one, Coach, if you would, please.
Of course. So what do you recommend to a disabled person? Should that be mentioned immediately?
I have a thought. Michelle, it's never the scandal. It's always the cover up. Right. And I'm sure I don't know what disability you have, but, regardless, I'm sure you know better than I do that. Whoops, guys, we didn't mean to go for it on Michelle there. Sorry. You know better than. Thanks, guys. You know better than I do that people sometimes can judge a book by its cover. So I might not lead with it. Oh, hearing loss. Hey, Michelle, and hopefully you're on some sort of system where we have closed caption. I haven't figured out how to do it live yet, but I know it's in the replay. So if you're hearing me somehow, I'm so happy, Michelle. It makes me so happy. So yeah, I don't know that you necessarily have to lead with it, but I wouldn't necessarily hide it. This is sort of like age, right? People are going to hire you because of who you are, not in spite of it, Michelle. And the fact that you are somebody who's managed to deal with a disability, I mean, just think of all the things that that says about you in terms of your resilience and strength and adaptability and ability to figure things out. I mean, it speaks volumes about who you are, Michelle. So I might not lead with it, but you know, I mean, the other play there is like, if I'm an employer and I don't have a lot of people with disabilities and I care about anything related to diversity, I might not mind having a mix of people, some that can hear and some that have a harder time hearing. And I say that with great love and respect, but that's a real play. You're so welcome, Michelle. Good. I'm so glad you can hear us. Hannah P booked a call. Nice job, Hannah P. All right. Yeah, we see that. All right. Let's see here. Next question. Yeah, coach, take it away. Take it away. What do you go ahead and read that one, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So is it possible my position is being phased out or hiring needs are drastically reduced? I am a copy editor and proofreader. I mean, that is a very smart question, Tiffany. And a lot of professionals kind of like in those editorial roles are kind of like asking us, kind of the same things. But you know what, like, and correct me if you feel I'm wrong, coach, but yeah, it can shift, right? Right. Like traditional copy editing, proofreading roles, right? Especially in like publishing or journalism or marketing agencies, like they could be shrinking in volume because of like, content automation or budgets, right? However, like your skill set is not necessarily disappearing, Tiffany, right? It is evolving, right? So now it's a matter of like, okay, how do we position you so that way we can get you in a place that can be, like a hybrid role or a place that needs kind of like a broader communication or strategy skills, right? So everything is about how we position yourself and how we can help you stand out independently of what's happening and all the noise and shifts that are happening around you.
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't agree more. And, Tiffany, and this is for everybody else, the one thing that will never be phased out is service. So one of the things people that join this program get a real good dose of is how to apply from a place of service. And they're going to carry that into their next job. And because of that, what happened in your last, we're going to make sure that what happens in your next job isn't what happened in your last job, because service never goes out of style. That's always in demand. Yep, 100%. All right, let's take a few more questions here. Love all these questions. What's your advice to job seekers who are making a pivot? Oh, such a great question. So a lot of times what I find on this, Ibrahim, is people will underestimate what they got out of their last job. For instance, when I went from a scuba instructor to working at the White House, I was really good underwater at keeping people in certain positions. And what I didn't, and so I thought, oh, I'm a scuba instructor. Like when I go to the White House and I'm working a rope line with the President of the United States, those skills won't matter. Guess what skills really mattered? It was the same stuff I would do underwater to keep people alive and keep from being eaten by sharks or whatever. I would use on a rope line to position them around the President of the United States so Secret Service didn't get mad. Same skills. And so a lot of times we underestimate the career capital that we're bringing forward, even if it is a different position. So I think it's fine to reinvent ourselves, but that's sort of a loaded term. Wesley F booked a call. Nice job, Wesley F. All right, guys, next question. Next question here. All right, you take this one away, coach.
Yeah. So Danilo, you mentioned something about during an interview to not answer their "can I trust you" question. And so how do I address it, right? So I feel like you are connecting to the part where you were telling them, coach, about like, tell me about you, right? And really what
right.
They are.
Well, it's like every question is, can I trust you? And we can't actually say yeah. So we have to say some other stuff. So how do we deal with that, coach?
Exactly. So yeah, everything is about like kind of like shifting the conversation right around them, right? Like getting them to know that, oh, you know what? Like Danilo really cares about us. Danilo really understands us. Danilo really makes us feel seen, heard, understood, right? Because the majority of people are going to be talking about them anyways, about themselves, about their accomplishments. And when you come in and you talk about the company, you talk about their needs, you talk about how everything is going to be to serve them, that's when the conversation shifts.
It's great. Well, guys, look, I know we've gone over time. I just really want to acknowledge you. I want to thank Natalia for being here, and just really want to acknowledge everybody for being on the call. I know, there's other things that you could be doing. And guys, look, if you've been on the job hunt and you've been trying to figure this out, please know you don't have to do this alone. The end of the year is a great time of year to get hired. A lot of times people are like, well, you know what? I'm just going to take my foot off the gas. That's all the more reason you want to be somebody that doesn't do that, because if all your competitors are doing that, you want to be the person that's either gets hired at the end of the year, which totally happens, or you're going to want to be ready to go in January. So any final thoughts, Coach Natalia?
100%. There's just one last question that I want to address that is from Brandon, which I think is really important. Yeah. He's asking, how do you deal with short-term employment or gaps in the resume, right? And I feel like, and you've taught me this, Coach, as well, that like a gap is a problem if you treat it like one, right? Because most hiring managers like are not necessarily going to look to that gap, right? Unless like you really go deep into it. The goal is to like really redirect everything to growth or to value. Yeah. Right. So again, it's how we shift the conversation, how we position ourselves. That's why the positioning is the core, the foundation of our program. And it's the first thing that we're going to be working with you. So that way, all of those elements do not impact.
Right. Somebody asked you about the gap. You'd be like, yeah, I could tell you about the gap, or I took care of my sick parent, or we could talk about what's possible for your company. What would you like to talk about?
100%.
Yeah. So guys, just acknowledge you for being here. Natalia, you're the best. Thank you for being here. All right, guys, we're going to play a bunch of testimonials of like people saying nice things about us, just to show you that it's possible for them, possible for you. Acknowledge you for being here, guys. Hope we have the chance to help you and work with you. Either way, bright things on the horizon for you. Don't give up. You can do it. Take care, my friends.
Ciao.
Hi, I'm Stephen Bullock. The reason I joined Win at Work was primarily Eric. I attended one of his, I think, LinkedIn webinars was how I connected with him. I'll say his sincerity came through. The fact that he truly cared about outcomes. I think it's so easy to say, well, I didn't get that job because I'm too old, too bald, too ugly, it doesn't matter what, you can fill in any vernacular you choose. At the end of the day, you really don't know why you were not selected. I will say the biggest fear that you guys helped, I think, getting over the fear of network bomb. I ultimately wrote 6 network bombs. Interestingly, the last one, which was like, hey, I found a job, super excited to let you know. With your guidance and following the program, I was successful. I have secured a job, which I start on Monday, which is about 4 days from now, which I'm very much looking forward to.
My name is Charlotte Jones. I got a new position and I got hired pretty fast in the last month of being with Win at Work. So I have been searching for a job for a little over 7 months, and I've been at Win at Work for just a month, for about 40 days. So I do really like the one-on-one, the one-on-one time that I get with a coach or a career coach, counselor. And I also like that interaction and listening to the successes and the stories of how someone might be thinking about their job search, or how they might want to present themselves during interview, what may work and what hasn't worked. And I'd like to hear those stories from others, because I found that I was having some of the same experiences. And then really when it came down to getting an offer and being able to connect with Eric directly and really get that one-on-one coaching, that was truly helpful. I felt like that was a white glove service that was worth, getting involved with and connecting with Win at Work.
Hi, I'm Mason Fisk, and I live outside of Boston currently. Before I joined, ironically, my interviews were actually high, and then my applications were low. I was really looking for something that was very hands-on. I was someone who, again, I felt like I always could figure things out myself, not doing them correctly. But then once I got into the program, it was kind of the opposite. Like, yes, it was casting a wider net, but at the same time, it was being very thorough. It really is all about your network. Broaden my network, really put myself out there, because I'm someone who is very keen on thinking I could do everything myself and I know what I'm doing, but sometimes you don't know everything, and that's really how the success for me came out of this program. I have a job offer starting on Monday. Again, without that guidance, I probably would have fumbled it. Again, if you're hesitant for any reason, I have to say it's worth every penny at the end of the day. Eric does know what he's doing. He's created a great program that really hits all points during the entire job application process. The courses are, very thorough, giving tips and tricks and guidance on how to negotiate and get through those stages once you have an offer. And for me personally, I was able to get 25% more than I was previously making. Again, within almost 3 months, I'm back to work. So
I started job searching a month before I started the program. It took me between 6 months and a year since COVID to find contract jobs. So when I got the notification, the Win at Work, Get Hired Fast, it was called Get Hired Fast email, I just knew immediately this was the way to go to quicken the time. I immediately jumped on this because in the past, it had just taken so long to find work and find the right kind of work. I've had in my career a couple of really horrible contracts, and I knew my biggest problem in getting hired was first my resume. I felt comfortable about interviewing with companies. The interviews I was not worried about. It really was the resume. Doing that master resume from beginning to end with everything on it was incredibly freeing. I joined on 5/29 on an 8/11. I had not only a job offer, but the job offer that I wanted. And that was incredible. When I got immersed in this whole program, there are so many great things here. Just learning all these new tools and tips. And it was the power hours. They were boosters. And I love the fact that they had a theme every week as you were, going through this process. And it was just so comforting to have that. And then the individual coaching sessions, those were great.
Hello. So my name is Luis Velasquez. I was part of the Win Award program. I work with the Eric and team. Coaching on how to get a new job and all, do's and don'ts. And it worked for me. I got hired recently. I got a role at Johnson & Johnson. A role that I actually was looking forward to, something I really like. It's an operational technology cybersecurity engineer. So I'm looking forward to start working with them. But it was I think everything I did at Win Award was beneficial for me. Everything that I was taught, right? Something that I would take with me for a long time. Something that I want to keep it close in case I need it again. You never know.
Rich!
I signed up with Eric probably around Thanksgiving, just getting started before I landed a position.
New Year's Eve, Rich. New Year's Eve.
It was New Year's Eve. So it happened really fast. The last newsletter was spot on, where it's like, okay, everybody starts with dusting up their resume and their LinkedIn, but it's really about mindset.
That's right, baby. That's right.
So I'm very, very eager and excited to get back with you and
all right, man.
Get that going, because it made all the difference in the world last time.
Path, man. Keep on the path. All right, we're getting a bigger crowd now. It's so nice. Tell me who else has something to share. Yeah, Kay, talk to us.
So I went off camera a few minutes ago because I just got an offer from my dream job and my dream company. So real time, it happened just now. So on, thanks, Eric.